I thought that I had seen it all in crypto, but this one, it's different. Big banks are quietly building their own digital coins, and it might finally prove why XRP exists in the first place. So, get this, Bank of America, JPMorgan, Wells Fargo, they're all racing to create their own stablecoins. And over in Europe, giants like 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗃 and ING, they're planning a euro stablecoin by 2026. Sounds crazy, right? Banks, the very institutions that once shunned crypto, are now jumping in headfirst. But here is the kicker. Each bank is doing it separately. They're not teaming up on one big project. No, they each want their own coin, their own control. If you're thinking, uh-oh, that sounds like a mess, well, you're not alone. I felt the same way. Just imagine, right? Each of these banks, these bank coins, as a walled garden, a fancy little private club where only their rules really matter. JP Morgan's coin might work great within JP Morgan's system, 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗃's coin, well, that's within theirs. How do you get value out of one garden and into another? How do you send money from a JP Morgan world to a 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗃 world? Well, that's the puzzle, isn't it? Right? We're creating a whole bunch of isolated mini-economies, and if you're an XRP holder like me, your ears are perking up right about now. You see, I stumbled across a crypto pundit's post, 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗃. Now, you might know this guy. He laid out a plan as a kind of a plain and simple one, if you will, that all of these isolated kind of bank stablecoins are exactly why XRP even exists. Right? When I read that, I had a bit of a light bulb moment. It was like someone finally connected the dots that I've been staring at for years. Let me break this down. The CEO of Bank of America even said that they're gearing up to launch a stablecoin as soon as regulators give a thumbs up. So this is happening, right? We're looking at a future where every major bank will have its own digital dollar or digital euro. Good for them, I guess, right? Innovation and all that. But none of these coins are designed to actually play nice with each other, right? Banks, they just want control, not a shared playground. It reminds me of the very early days of the internet, when companies made private networks that couldn't talk to one another. Eventually, something had to connect them, right? Or the whole idea of a network of networks would simply fail. That's where a bridge comes in. Now, in our case, in crypto, that bridge could be XRP. Now, before I go any further, let me put this on the record. This might just shock you too, because I'm not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and you could lose all of the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. After all, your investments are entirely your responsibility, and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Alright, now that we are clear on that, back to the story. Why did that comment about XRP hit me so hard? Well, it's because XRP was literally built for cross-border, cross-platform transfers, right? It's fast, it's cheap, it's crucially I should say, it doesn't actually belong to any one bank or any one country. It's like the neutral kid on the playground who can play with anyone's toys and doesn't take sides. Let's think about that. XRP has been used by some financial institutions to zip money around the world across borders without needing accounts pre-funded on both sides. So no more leaving piles of cash just sitting idle in foreign banks just in case, old school banking. I'm looking at you. Now, instead, you have this XRP, which is used as a bridge. So Bank A can send value to Bank B, even if one's using JPM coin and the other one is using, Euro coin. Right? XRP steps in as the middle currency, converting and transferring the value instantly. So when Barron said this is why XRP exists, he's pointing to the interoperability, a fancy word for systems that can work together. Now, if every bank is making its own little island of value, then we're going to need a ferry to shuffle money between those islands. Now, XRP could indeed be that ferry, rather than trying to tear down the bank's walls, because let's face it, banks love their walls. XRP offers a ladder over the top. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The very thing that banks are doing to maintain control could drive the demand for something that they don't control. Now, Brad Garlinghouse's Ripple's CEO, he actually joined the company in 2015, a few years after XRP was born, and I can't help but wonder if he saw this all coming, right? He often talked about working with banks, not against them. And here we are in 2025, watching banks fortify their silos with a neutral bridge currency stands ready to link them all together. It's a bit like a plot twist in a movie. At first, you think the hero, XRP, is competing with the bank's new coins. Then you realize that the hero is actually there to connect them. Now, XRP isn't trying to replace the dollar or the euro or JPMorgan coin, right? It's actually there to make sure that these all can talk to each other. It exists to actually be the connective tissue in a fragmented financial world. Now, I know what you might be thinking here. This sounds great in theory, but will banks actually use XRP? Well, that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? Banks are prideful creatures. They might not openly say, hey, let's all use this crypto asset that we don't control. But behind the scenes, if it saves them money, if it makes transfers instant, well, they might not have a choice but to use it, or something like it anyway. Interoperability, it's not a luxury here. It actually becomes a necessity when a single player's network dominates the entire world. And speaking of connecting networks, and making the most of what we have, let me just pivot here for a second to something that I've been up to, which some of you guys following the channel will already know. It's a project called Unity. Now, I've mentioned Unity in many videos already, so it won't surprise the regular viewers here. The idea behind Unity is actually pretty cool though. It's kind of like putting idle devices to work and earning crypto for it. So imagine turning an old smartphone into a small crypto earning machine by letting you join a network. Well, I actually jumped on the bandwagon here. I did purchase a Unity Masternode NFT, which basically lets me connect up to 200 devices to the network, right? Think of the 200 licenses as slots for devices that I can connect. Now, to start, I'm just running an experiment here with 10 phones, just a small test to see how it all works in real life. And if it's successful, then you bet that I'm going to scale this up to connect even more devices. And here is the fun part. You can choose what you want rewards to be paid in, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, and yes, XRP. It's a neat way to slowly and passively stack even more crypto over time, and at least ones that you believe in too, including XRP, without even lifting a finger after the setup. Now, I do want to be rather clear here. Unity is not some kind of get-rich-quick thing. It is definitely not financial advice either. It's just an experiment on my end here. As always, you should do your own research. I'll put some links in the description down below to Unity's light paper and their rewards calculator in the description so that you can read up on it all for yourselves. In fact, I've been discussing Unity in our free educational Discord for quite a while, sharing tips and experiences too. The concept, it isn't new to our community, but it's been pretty awesome seeing people helping each other out and figure everything out for themselves. Oh, and one more thing. I actually picked up a second and third Unity nodes specifically for the community. Now, I know not everyone wants to, manage 200 devices with a full master node themselves. So I'm going to be leasing out some of my extra licenses, slots for devices, if you will, to people who are curious about Unity but want to start smaller. If that's something that you're interested in, you'll find more information in our Discord server, linked in the description below. And we're always talking about these kind of opportunities. It's all about finding ways to kind of grow together. You know what I mean? Now, let's get back to the bigger picture here, because whether it's XRP, bridging, banks, or innovative projects like Unity, it all ties into being prepared for where things in this industry are heading. Now, one big lesson that I've learned over the years is to never put all of your eggs in one basket, especially when it comes to crypto exchanges. So if you've been around during a bull market, you know that exchanges get overloaded or even halt withdrawals when things go crazy. The last thing that you want is to be stuck because you only had one on-ramp or off-ramp for your funds. That is why I have a bit of an exchange safety net. I sign up, KYC when needed, and test out as many reputable exchanges as I possibly can, because you just never know when you're going to need access to an alternative. I've got plan A, plan B, plan C, D, E, F, and G, right? Just in case one exchange goes down or something weird happens. I'm talking about Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, Bybit, LBank, BitGet, Blowfin, among many, many others. And yes, I do have affiliate links for most of those, all in the link in the description to my website, right? So if you're looking for all the exchanges that I do personally use, check the description out for our website and you'll find everything there, right? Now, using those links, it helps support the channel here at no extra cost to yourself. But, I am thankful for anyone who does go over to the website and uses those links. It really does help us out massively. But affiliate link or not, the strategy still stands. Get your account set up and verified now, not later, because when the market is roaring and you're spot on an arbitrage opportunity or your main exchange freezes up, that's not the time that you want to be scrambling to open up a new account. Now, speaking of exchanges and being prepared, I've actually partnered up with Kraken to give you guys a little extra, right? Check this out. For a limited time, if you sign up for Kraken through my special link that's in the description and trade at least $100 worth of any crypto excluding stablecoins within 30 days of opening your account, Kraken will reward you with $25 in XRP. Yeah, free XRP basically for doing something that you might have done anyway. Now, this is obviously a promo to get more people onto Kraken, but I do see this as a win-win-win situation because you're going to get a solid exchange in your arsenal. Kraken has been around forever, and I personally do trust it. Now, you test it out with $100 for trading, and boom, you're going to get $25 in XRP as a bit of a kicker. Just remember, though, that this is a limited time offer. All the details, the terms and conditions, etc. are linked in the description down below. And it's important that you do look at those because not every jurisdiction is going to be eligible. So if you've been meaning to diversify your exchange accounts, get ahead of any of the next kind of bullish waves, then this is a pretty great incentive to do it. Now, let's zoom back out to the bigger picture here for a minute, because all of these moves that I'm making, staying on top of XRP's developments, exploring Unity nodes for passive income, setting up more exchanges as backups, they're all about one thing. They're getting ready for what is next. And the news about the banks launching their own stablecoins, that feels like a sign of what is coming next. You see, this is how I see it. We've got this clash of worlds where traditional finance is trying to absorb the innovations of crypto, but in a very closed off, proprietary way. It's kind of like they're saying, sure, we will use blockchain, but only on our own terms. Now, meanwhile, of course, those of us in the crypto space are all about openness and connectivity, right? XRP sits right there at the intersection of that. Right, with one foot in the door to the banks and one foot in the world of open crypto networks. The real reason that XRP even exists might be staring right at us in the face right now, to bridge the networks that don't want to share their toys, to be the neutral ground, right? This whole stablecoin saga is like a test for XRP's true purpose. At least if the theory really does hold, and those banks proceed with their separate coins, well, the pressure to find a common connector will only grow. Maybe it's XRP, maybe it's something else. There are many projects aiming to solve interoperability after all, right? But XRP has this first mover advantage and a heck of a track record in this exact department. It's kind of both ironic and exciting, isn't it? It's ironic because the banks trying to regain control of their own coins might inadvertently actually accelerate the adoption of the one thing that they cannot control. And exciting because, well, for XRP holders, this is the scenario that we've been talking about for years. It's kind of like watching a prophecy just unfold. Okay, maybe that's a little bit dramatic, but you kind of get what I mean here, right? We've speculated forever about banks using XRP, and here we have a concrete reason why they might actually need to do so. Now, I want to leave you with this thought. Sometimes big changes come not with a loud bang, but with a series of quiet shifts. A tweet here, a news report there, a CEO hinting at a project in the pipeline. Individually, these things might not seem world-changing, but piece them together and you start seeing the outline of a much newer and bigger picture. The pieces right now are pointing towards a more interconnected financial system, one where digital assets like XRP play a role, a pivotal role in fact, beneath the surface of it all, even if most people don't even realize it. As an XRP holder, I'm more optimistic than ever before, but I'm also staying grounded here, right? We're not here to hype things up without reason. We're here to kind of watch, to learn, to position ourselves smartly, right? Whether XRP becomes the bridge currency for a web of bank coins or not. The fact that we're even discussing this is seriously, at least in 2025, it shows how far we have truly come. So stay curious, stay alert, keep an eye on those bank developments. Join us in the Discord to swap ideas with fellow crypto nerds. Check out the Unity Node stuff if earning passive crypto interests you. And make sure that you're ready for all of these opportunities and curveballs that are coming. If you found this journey as eye-opening as I did, you can do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe button and stick around for the next adventure. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.